Senate moves to allow military to intern Americans without trial. That's Infowars.com. Direct link to the legislation. ACLU's also covering it. And I will continue after that. The real Newt Gingrich, now that he's one of the front runners, will tell you about Mr. New World Order. Stay with us.
You may be arrested.
Okay, my friends, I want to do something that I do from time to time after we go through a lot of the important news and information that is coming up, and that is 30-second phone calls. That means 30 seconds, you comment, you make your point. I might give a 10-second response, and then we move on. And I do this every once in a while, and it's the only way I can make myself take a lot of calls, and it's always very informative. So we're going to do that. If you want to give a 30-second response to what I'm talking about, or your own statement or a question, then we will do it, and we will start taking calls in the last segment of this hour throughout the second hour. And the toll-free number to join us, I'd love to hear from you. Today, if you'd like to get involved on air, is 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. I'll give that number out again coming up in the next segment. Okay, we've got absolute bedlam breaking out in Pakistan after NATO bombed a bunch of innocent people. Now they're blocking the main supply route out of Pakistan into Afghanistan. Remember, our government, for whatever reason, during the 90s, helped give nukes to Pakistan, and now they have them. So that's a pretty serious situation. That's coming up later in the next hour. Lebanese prime minister says Syrian protesters only want overthrow, not reform of Syria. They're admittedly funded now by al-Qaeda out of Saudi Arabia and Libya. And it breaks that down in the news articles I've got. I'm going to be going over a little bit later. Also, the Daily Mail reports ClimateGate scientists did collude with government officials to hide research that didn't fit into their apocalyptic global warming. Now, more documents have been released where the U.S. and U.K. governments ordered the government-funded universities to create the strongest and most hysterical message possible to achieve carbon taxes. I mean, I don't need these documents to come out and know that. They're like, pay Al Gore and the world government money on everything you do or all the animals are going to die. And they literally have the second graders cry and show them the animations of polar bears who can't swim. I mean, just hardcore Soviet-style brainwashing, while real environmental issues don't matter. There's plenty of those. I mean, I've got children. I live here. I want catalytic converters. I don't want to drink poison in lakes. I don't like toxic waste dumping. I certainly don't want to chop down old-growth forests. We can plant our own. I'm all for it. But don't say all the power plants that aren't part of General Electric have to shut down or pay protection money to the government, but General Electric, who gave all the money to the president, they're exempt. Okay, it's nothing to do with the environment. Get that straight. All right, I got that. Prepare for riots in Euro collapse. Foreign Office warns out of England. Banks build contingency for breakup of the euro. It's a break up into the global world government. They're going to create a new banking dictatorship, they admit. That's all over the news. What about all you people that said I was crazy talking about that 17 years ago? Told you how they get the countries in debt with derivatives by design, implode them, have a private banking dictatorship. You know how I knew? It was all in the Trilateral Commission documents. The head of the CME group came out and attacked Gerald Celente and others for talking about MF Global, and now over $3 billion missing. Was $600 million, now it's $3 billion missing. Won't give people their own private accounts back. And he said, these people are nuts. They believe in the Trilateral Commission. You mean we believe in a public group calling for world government? I'm going to read Newt Gingrich quotes later where he calls for world government and an end of U.S. sovereignty. He wrote the foreword to a known socialist organization's pamphlet. Bill Clinton has come out basically and endorsed him yesterday. Why? Anybody the establishment media is giving attention to and kudos to is bad news. Mitt Romney, Rick Perry. I mean, I told people years ago about these guys supporting gun control, abortion, open borders, amnesty cities, Bilderberg Group, writing Obamacare. There's a bunch of other stuff. And you people, some of you still won't go look it up. You still won't go. Obviously, Obama's bad. And so is Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney and all these other globalists. Oh, but Rick Perry put on a little show this year in the legislature, in the legislative session. He had his minions introduce an end to sanctuary city bills, and then he quietly behind the scenes had it killed. That's called having cake and eating it too. And he supported the TSA bill, but quietly had it killed. We learned that from Senator Patrick and others. Oh, and then it came out that 5 years ago, he got the award from Vicente Fox for establishing sanctuary cities. See, you like being tricked? You like being double-crossed, triple-crossed? Do you like being a schmuck? Do you like being a sucker? Do you like being conned? Do you like looking at the little Newt Gingrich up there who supported carbon taxes and global warming taxes? I'm going to play a video clip of him saying it in a minute, so don't try to be in denial. You know who the Republicans had as the response to Al Gore last year? He was going to debate in the Senate Lord Monckton, who would actually cover the real issues and admits world government and covers the real facts. And when Al Gore found out that who he was going to debate, he said, I'm canceling. So they canceled Monckton, even though he landed from London in D.C., and they said, don't worry, we have Newt Gingrich to counter Al Gore. It's like a Don King boxing match. I mean, do you like things getting worse? Do you like getting sucked into Brand Obama or Brand Gingrich? Do you like being an idiot? Talking to new listeners out there. Because I've done the research. I know what I'm talking about. We've got a track record of it because we study globalist white papers. We know what we're talking about. We read legislation. That's all coming up. Germany, France planned quick new stability pact report. I told you 4 years ago, 2008. I made a film about it 3 years ago, Obama deception. I said they would implode the countries in the order they were imploded. And that'd be Iceland, Ireland, Greece, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and then it would rotate into Northern Europe, or Eastern Europe was already falling, to the financial tyranny. And then I said it would then be a pact between France and Germany, France going totally belly up by design, and then Germany sold as the bad guy, as if some nation states doing this would implode, finally, to the bankster Ponzi scheme, all by design. See, the globalists conquer by economic fraud, backed up with paramilitary force after they've taken over. It's an old kind of war, but with a new spin on it, so people can't recognize it. Like you're a dodo bird, and the sailors are getting off their boats, and you don't have wings, you don't run, you're big and fat and juicy, they're going to eat you. You can't recognize the sailors. You are a prey animal. You've never been around this type of tyranny. You can't recognize it. You didn't study history, and so you're like a dumb little dodo bird that the hungry sailors can walk right up to 10,000 miles from Europe, starving, and conk you right on the head. And you even think it's cute to be conked on the head. As long as you were... Most people aren't even politically informed or aware at any level. But those that are watch MSNBC, Fox, they read the newspaper, and they think they're real smart. And they repeat and regurgitate on you talking points, milquetoast, idiocy. Do you know how stupid you act? Do you know how pathetic it is? I want you to wake up and be a man, to wake up and be a woman. I don't want to see you get hurt. I care about you. And that's why I'm talking to you straight right now. Now, when I come back, the plan to use the military and arrest citizens and shut down the internet. Stay with us. And then the real Newt Gingrich. Save you but yourself, folks. You got to ask God to give you help, to give you the courage. But for me, it's not even a discussion of courage. The globalists are going to run over us and literally turn us into high-tech slaves on their technocratic global plantation, in their own words. So why should I roll over? Will you please explain that to me? I want to be free, as my ancestors did, and I'm going to fight to be free. And I'm going to fight the information war. And I'm also going to defend myself physically against tyranny. I'm not going to go quietly off to be shot in some pit somewhere, or be hauled away because the system thinks it's cute and funny. And the globalists have all that in store as well. They don't care. They'll sit offshore while all the phony, tough, minions of the establishment do battle with the patriots of America. And they've introduced the ideas in films and TV and video games that people that want to defend the republic are the bad guys. But they failed 70+% of all military donations to both parties, to the presidential candidate in the last election and this one, are Ron Paul. So they've got a problem there. So what they do is they go pick through the military and do psychological evaluations and hire the unstable, stupid, or sociopathic bully types. It's a complex variant, and are in a race to fill the police departments right now. We've gotten internal memos and shown you them here. One of them, state police memo here in Texas, where they're trying to hire, quote, former military first, but this is secret and don't let anyone know. Yeah, it's discrimination. But some would argue, well, hire the military first. They need jobs. They're not just hiring the military. They're giving them 600 questions, psychological evaluations. So if you fill it out like a dog-like servant of evil, you'll get the job. All right, that's coming up. I'm going to break that down a little bit later. And by the way, you don't have to listen to me. America is already going down the tubes. I tried to stop it as best I could. We can still salvage something. And see, I know most people still aren't going to listen now. You're going to listen 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Oh, sure, this broadcast reaches 3 million people a day. The website's over 1 million a day. Total every week, it's over 15 million people. And I love the fact that 5 million of those or more are new. And that's who I'm really talking to here. Because I know you're conditioned and under brainwashing and under this strong delusion of this corrupt, all-encompassing culture, this cultural nerve gas that permeates everything. I understand that. And I know you're not going to listen now. You will remember later. Mark my words. You, my friend, are a little seed that can grow into a mighty oak. And we're planting that seed right now so that at the time when the world has shown you the error of your ways, that you will germinate. You could call this broadcast the time bomb hour. Already, hundreds of millions of people worldwide have heard my warnings and seen much of it unfold exactly as we said it would. And so, as the next phase unfolds, even the most willfully ignorant of you, because the pain of an empty belly and the humiliation of living under tyranny will be so great that then you will find your spine and your hind legs. And you won't have the answers, just like I don't have all the answers. But you'll know what's wrong, and you'll get up and start taking action, and that's where you'll learn. And when they persecute you, it makes you strong. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Though you even lose your body, it doesn't matter. This great eugenics evil must be faced. The public must be roused out of their trance. That is the great goal and the great object. The New World Order doesn't take over the planet because they want money. They print the money. They control the ideas, the patents, the technologies. The high priest of the New World Order traffic in the souls of men, as Revelation states. They are obsessed with what you think and who you are. They want to control your programming from birth. They want to twist you and make you weak and easily malleable. They revel in you being like an instrument they play, not being a conscious person. I revel in seeing the electric light of human creativity and awakening that is the dynamic human spirit. When I see that flame burn in your eyes like 1,000 Milky Ways sparkling with stars,